How am I prepared mentally? So mentally it's a competitive fight and I've got to bring competition. So in that sense, mentally it's not just about, all right, I want to box well and all this, just win. Mentally, like win, refuse to be beat. And that's how you mentally approach the fight, just go in there with a winner's mindset.
So Jake, you can fight basically anybody. You decide who your opponents are going to be. Why was this man the right opponent for right now?
I think this talk has been part of the conversation, and we've always wanted to fight each other. There's been some talk back and forth for a couple of years, and my goal is to become world champion and the WBA and WBC.
I don't think it's necessarily fair to AJ. I just know that I have the power and the timing. It's the shots that you don't see coming that knock people out. And I'm a tricky knockout artist that people don't give me enough credit for. I've won knockout of the year. So he has to be careful. And I do have the timing, the speed, and the tricks up my sleeve to be able to hit a shot on this guy that he doesn't see coming that can put him to sleep 1000%.
Jake Paul didn't just walk in, he made an entrance. The kind where a guy's already planning the victory parade playlist before the fight is even signed. That wild, overconfident energy felt less like confidence and more like a dare to reality itself. He preached his own gospel of "I'm going to shock the world," and for a moment you almost believed him. But trust me, this was only the opening scene, and the real twist was already loading.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna break his face, I'm gonna break his body up, I'm gonna stomp all over him. That's my mentality, right? That's a fighter's mentality, and I know what's in my heart, I know what's in my mind, and I'm here to compete. I'm here to prove myself that I'm the better fighter, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'll do that until I finish fighting, no matter who it is.
Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua sat there with the calm, icy presence of a man carved out of cold steel. No theatrics, no hype, just that silent message in his eyes that said, "This isn't a superhero movie. This is an appointment, and you're the one who scheduled it." Before a single punch was thrown, the whole room felt like a courtroom where the verdict was quietly being signed. Stay locked in, because what comes next flips the whole narrative.
Who has more pressure on them going into this fight?
100% Anthony. Yeah, 1000%. This is something that's gonna weigh on him, right? Like, because of what you said, I'm going in there, I can fight free. If he starts getting touched up and losing rounds, I think the cookie will crumble.
Jake's imagination was racing. Speed, angles, fancy footwork, like he was prepping for dancing with the heavyweights. Joshua, on the other hand, spoke with slow, razor-sharp control about pressure, patience, and making the night deeply uncomfortable. He wasn't trying to be dramatic. He was just stating facts, the kind that make even confident men rethink their choices. And this was only the beginning.
Whatever he said, we'll see if the cookie crumbles. I don't know what to say. I'm confident in myself. Like, I'm not focusing on him. I just know what I can do, and I can't wait to show it. I'm not gonna crumble. I'm solid. I've been through wars, and I'm still standing super strong. I align myself with some of the greatest coaches and greatest fighters in the world because I have that hunger, that desire.
There's no universe where anyone forgets what Anthony Joshua does best. The man's a specialist in turning knuckles into concussion-grade punctuation marks. And that's exactly what he plans to introduce Jake Paul to. Anything less from a 34-year-old AJ, fans would start whispering fixed fight. But here's the wild part. If Jake does pull off the impossible with real footwork, real strategy, and a disciplined jab, then the sport gets one of the biggest plot twists of the decade.
I don't think there's any chance in the world, knowing what Anthony Joshua is a specialist at, he's a specialist at putting knuckles through your fucking brain, and that's what he's going to try to do to Jake Paul. And anything other than that, if from a 34-year-old Anthony Joshua, will make us all think it's a fixed fight. Whether or not Josh can do it, whether or not, Jake Paul shocks the world and shows us that he really does know how to box really well and moves really good and uses his jab and blows us all away with a strategy and a lot of footwork and move.
One guy selling belief like a TED Talk motivational speaker, the other radiating the calm of someone who already knows the ending. And just when the tension between Jake and AJ hits max volume, Eddie Hearn slides in. Smooth, steady, almost bored. Like an Uber driver watching two Lamborghinis argue about top speed. He just says, "Relax, guys. We've already done the math." But when the real footage surfaced, everything changed.
Any secret to boxing a guy like
just get him with the right hand. That's what Jake Paul's looking for, the right hand. And if he lands, he could do good damage. So a lot of people underestimate Jake Paul, but in reality, he's a good fighter and he's dedicated, and that's what I like about him.
I'm sitting here thinking, this man is talking about retirement clauses the way most people talk about weekend plans. Calm, casual, but absolutely ruthless underneath. Eddie basically says, if AJ loses, we're not doing a press conference, we're doing a farewell tour. And he says it with such politeness, you almost want to applaud. Then he breaks down AJ's weight like a fitness coach with motivational posters. A lighter AJ is a sharper AJ. In boxing terms, less posing for the camera, more nightmare fuel.
You're quoted on record saying that you and AJ must retire if Jake Paul wins on December 19th. Stand by that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I suppose so. Yeah. Look, I don't see a world where Jake Paul wins this fight. I know that boxing's boxing. And I mean, what is it? Roy Jones came out this morning and said Jake Paul can win this fight.
Teddy Atlas as well.
Teddy Atlas. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, now I'm a bit worried. I won't retire. AJ should retire if he loses.
Meanwhile, Jake is still floating around with superhero confidence. And yeah, it's admirable, but confidence without heavyweight seasoning is like calling a dry steak fine dining. Everyone watching can feel the shift. Team AJ is treating this like a world title fight, while Eddie delivers every line like it's a royal announcement. One guy is dreaming big, the other is sharpening tools. And history? It usually favors the craftsman, not the motivational speaker. CTA number 2. If you're still here, hit that like button because the storm is only getting started.
Don't forget, AJ's never made weight before. So all of a sudden, he's tried. He's been in camp for, 2 or 3 weeks, and he's probably sitting at, 260, 265. And it's like, you got to make 245. It's 20 pounds. The weight clause and all of this is going to be an issue. It's something we have to keep our eye on. But I think AJ feels great. I think actually, the lighter AJ is, the better he is.
Just when Eddie has everyone locked into full executive mode, contracts, weight cuts, precision talk, we slide straight into Adi Oladipo territory. And instantly, the energy shifts. From boardroom seriousness to that brutally honest friend who brings stats, receipts, and snacks to every debate. Adi doesn't just talk boxing. He narrates it like every bad scorecard since 2009 personally insulted him.
I see AJ winning this fight with ease, comprehensively, destructively, violently, and I don't see a world where Jake Paul is competitive in the fight, let alone win the fight. But luckily, AJ's not preparing in a way that he just thinks it's a joke. He's preparing for Jake Paul like he's a world title contender. Yes, it's been a little bit of a shorter camp. Yes, we've got to make weight this time around, but it doesn't matter.
He looks at Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua with the same disbelief you'd have if someone told you they're challenging a lion to a push-up contest. Jake is selling dreams like a late-night infomercial. AJ, he's over there tightening the torque on his right hand like a mechanic prepping for controlled demolition. Aid starts breaking down the entire boxing landscape, and suddenly you see the sport clearly.
One in the top 10, where AJ's taking it seriously. He's answering the questions direct that Ariel's throwing him. There was no, we're here to kind of f*** around. This is going to be easy. Give me my money. Let me run back to the UK. This was AJ's like, no, we're taking this seriously. And that ain't a good thing for Jake Paul. It isn't. And AJ's that guy anyway. Like, I would never doubt that AJ would take this seriously. But for Jake Paul, I do wonder if realization is kicking in, or maybe he is just that delusional where he doesn't.
From British heavyweight rivalries to global boxing politics, it feels like every fighter's trying to headline their own reality show. But Ad breaks it all down with veteran clarity. Sharp, funny, grounded. like a coach explaining chaos with a dead serious expression. Because behind every joke, every jab, every hot take is a truth boxing never lets us forget. Noise doesn't win fights. Preparation does. And that blend of drama, discipline, and pure insanity, that's why we stay hooked.
Fascinating press conference. I think one of the biggest takeaways was, and I think we knew this on the circuit anyway, that AJ had left Ben Davison, but he confirmed it. And then he said he's training with Igor. And I wish Ariel pushed him a bit more, because I have no idea who Igor is. I feel like I know quite a few people in this Alexander Usyk camp where AJ is and has been for a while now. But Igor is most certainly not Alexander Usyk's #1 trainer. So I'm guessing it's just someone in the camp. But AJ is now training with that camp.
Then Johnny Nelson steps in, full veteran mode activated. He speaks with that calm, warning tone of a man who's watched overconfident fighters walk straight into storms they weren't built to survive. Jake's out here talking like he discovered motivational quotes yesterday. But Johnny reminds everyone, without raising his voice, that this isn't a charity fun run. This is the heavyweight division. And AJ is standing there like a man who's late for a serious appointment. One clean opening, and the entire night changes.
I will still stand firm and say AJ should, not will, should get rid of Jake Paul in 1 round. Should. And if he doesn't, then it's more, my questions will be more to AJ. But I'm confident AJ gets this done, and I'm confident AJ hasn't come to play around. So this isn't a case of AJ just come to kind of give the American audience a show and just, you know, make Jake Paul look silly and make Jake Paul miss. And no, I think AJ's come to do damage, collect the check, and go to Saudi and have this fight in February that Turkey's been talking about.
To be fair, Jake's boldness is entertaining in a "did he really just say that" kind of way. He's selling belief, drama, Hollywood narrative, everything. And part of me laughs, but the other part double checks that AJ's gloves are on tight. Because when Nelson talks about boxing not being a playground, he's not being dramatic. He's translating reality. Joshua doesn't need theatrics. He doesn't need viral moments. He needs one clean opportunity. And when that moment comes, the tone of this whole conversation changes instantly. CTA number 3. Stick around, because the next chapter, that's where the real chaos begins.